everyone, welcome back. I know I have not made a video in a while, and the reason why I'm doing this video is actually partially why I was gone. I'm talking about writing. I've really been focusing on this script that I've written a few drafts of now. I'm just like going over it to really polish it and perfect it and make sure that it's the best that it can be before anyone sees it. I can't really tell you much about it because I kind of don't want to, but all I can say is it's a drama. So everyone that asked me questions about comedy and stuff, I was just like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I can't write comedy for some reason. Like I can make people laugh in real life, but like making people laugh on a page is so different. I got a lot of questions from you guys on Instagram. I asked you all to submit me some questions that had to do with writing. So obviously that's the theme of the video since we're at my new desk. This was a birthday present to myself. I'll probably show you guys what the desk looks like either in this video somewhere or in another video. But I've always wanted to have like my own writing space. That's super important as a writer because this is a serious profession. This is a job. This is what I went to school for. So writing in a place where I'm going to be distracted is not going to help me further my career. So I just made the investment in myself to get this desk. Alright, so I'm going to move on to some of your questions. Let's see, which one should I pick first? That's always the fun part. So the first one I'm going to pick is a question from my friend Mina, who also went to school with me and studied screenwriting. He asked, how do you set goals? In one of my other videos, I talked about bullet journaling, and that has really helped me. Basically, what I do is I write out like my weekly like tasks and goals, and then I really try to like hold myself accountable. Another thing that I do is like I try not to set like huge goals. Like I'm gonna finish a 100-page script by the end of the week. If I'm only on page 5, that's not gonna happen. If I'm on page 80, it's a lot more doable, and I could probably set that goal if I know where I'm going with the story, but I just try not to overwhelm myself with the goal, and I try to get as much of it done as possible. If I don't complete, like let's say I wanted to get 20 pages in a day, and I get to page 15 and I'm like, I'm burnt out, 15 out of 20 is still really good. I just try to set goals that I know I can achieve and give myself a certain timeline to do it. As well as like if it's a big goal, I'll try to break it down. One of my friends, Rami, asked, what gets you into being creative? I feel like I don't have an imagination sometimes, haha. I mean, like I'm either in a creative mood or I'm not. And if I try to force it, it doesn't always work. I would say like some stuff that does help me is like making sure all my other things for the day are like done or like easy to do later so they're not on my mind. I'll go watch like a TV show that kind of embodies the tone of what I want to write, or a movie that has some scenes that might help me, and I'll just tell myself like this is for research. I'm researching for my script, or for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Try to do some research, but like in a fun way, and that might inspire you to start creating, or it might like help your brain come up with ideas that maybe you didn't have before. How do you overcome writer's block? This is a hard question because I don't even know how I do it. I think it's similar to the last question that Rami asked, is like if I'm not in the mood, like if I'm not in like the creative writing mood, I can do some things to like force it to get there, but that doesn't always work, obviously. I guess I just try to like start with like small stuff if I'm stuck. And if I'm still really stuck, I'll just try to read what I have and just keep reading it until something happens. But sometimes I do just take a break. I just don't write for like a month. And that's kind of scary, but I feel like that's natural with writers. Like I feel like people think writers are writing 24/7, like they don't do anything else. We just eat, sleep, write. And it's like, yes and no. It depends on the person. And then it also depends on like what their mindset is. Like if I'm in a creative mindset, I could be in here all day long and just eat my food right here. That happens. But there's also times where I like don't even want to touch my computer because I just know that I'm not in that mood, not in that zone yet. And I also know that I write better at night. So if I'm like trying to force it during the day and it's not happening, I'll wait till nighttime sometimes and just like tell myself like, this doesn't matter, like we're just gonna like write something, like whatever comes to mind, we're just gonna write it. And taking the pressure off does seem to help with writer's block. Another friend of mine that went to school with me and studied screenwriting, Erin, asked me, do you have any pre-writing rituals? I feel like I do, but I also don't. Like, it's just things I naturally do. It's not like I have to do this before I start writing. I do like to have a pretty neat desk. If my desk is not neat, I can't like focus. I guess if I'm super hungry, I try to eat something, but I've also heard that eating like right before you're trying to focus kind of messes up your brain, I guess. So I try not to eat a ton, like a huge meal right before I write, but I'll make sure I have like a snack or something, kind of just like review what I did the day before the last time I wrote and just like go from there. I got this question twice. How do you get inspiration when starting a new project from scratch? I don't know about other people. For me, the way that my brain works, when I have an idea, it's because it's something I'm passionate about. I don't like to create anything that doesn't have a meaning to me. So because it's important to me, I go for it. I put everything I can into it. There are projects that I've come up with that I deem as like less important. The script I'm working on right now is basically like my passion project. I have some other ones that could get made a lot easier, you know, lower budget, like more like small cast and stuff, and that's always good to have. But because I feel like this one's my passion project, I put in a lot more effort and time into it. I research, I talk to people, I get people's opinions on it. I just make sure that I'm putting in all my energy. I got another question that's similar that says, where do I get my inspiration? Anything that I find interesting or that I really care about, that's how I get my inspiration. Because the way that I look at like screenwriting is, I want to help people. I want to be a voice for this group of people and help raise awareness for whatever that issue is. So like, for example, like animal cruelty, animal abuse is a huge thing that I think it's very important that people know about it and talk about it. So a project about that would come to my mind, and I would try to think about, okay, if I care about raising awareness about, you know, taking care of animals better, how would I like tell this as like a story to get people invested and to get people to want to learn about it and want to care about it. That's basically how I get my inspiration. I don't know if that makes sense. Someone asked, when writing a story, do you have any advice for character development? Yes. Okay, so for character development, first of all, think about what purpose that character is serving in your story, and maybe you find out that they're not serving any purpose at all, and maybe they don't need to be there. Or maybe their role is way too big and they need to be smaller. Really think about why this character is in your story. Also, like trying to figure out who the character is. What I like to do is I like to write like a short, well not short, but a couple pages long, a bio on how they grew up, you know, what their family is like. Do they have a family? What's their favorite foods? Like, what if you met this person in real life, how would you describe them and what would their life look like day to day? Sometimes I write the bio, and then as I'm writing the character's different than what I wrote in the bio. Like, sometimes it changes, you know, and sometimes their interactions with other characters make you think, okay, maybe this person would be more like this. So I go back to that bio from time to time and I change it. My friend Hannah asked a question. Hi, Hannah. She asked, how do you maintain focus? That's kind of one of the reasons I got this desk in this room. As you can see, this is the room that I usually film in. It's just like a spare room that we have in the house. I cleared out an area over here to have like a desk because I used to be writing in my bed and I felt like I couldn't focus. First of all, that's where I sleep, so you're not supposed to be working where you sleep. Having a laptop on your lap and you're just like chilling, like your body's not engaged, whereas like I'm sitting at a desk, I'm looking at the computer, there's no window here, so all I see is the computer, and that makes me focus. Also making sure like my area is neat, like I said earlier, that helps me with focusing also. If I'm really having trouble focusing, I will make sure I don't have any like tabs open on like the internet or anything. I'll close all of those and just have script tabs open or like storyline stuff open. If I just want to have like 30 minutes of like nothing going on, I'll just flip my phone over or leave it in the other room. That really helps me. Someone else asked, what genres would you like to write about? For me, I feel like I said, comedy is really difficult for me to do. I lean more towards drama, thriller, and I really want to get into horror. Like, I have ideas for it, but writing a horror script is a lot harder than writing like an average like drama or even a thriller. So that's something I really want to try out, would be horror, because I love scary movies. And I also watch a lot of true crime, which is probably not good. A lot of interesting like true stories out there that don't seem like they could actually happen. And I'm like, I feel like this could be a script, you know? It'll like inspire me to like come up with my own version of it. Obviously, I'm not gonna steal someone's real story because, you know, that's not cool. The same person also asked, have you taken a course or a workshop for writing? Yes, so I went to Cal State Northridge for 2 years studying screenwriting. I just didn't really like the school, it wasn't for me. So I went to a different school. I went to New York Film Academy and studied screenwriting there for another 2 years. I graduated in February of 2020. So I've taken a lot of classes. At New York Film Academy, all the classes I took were about screenwriting or film. There were no generals. So I felt like I really learned a lot in that amount of time. It was very concentrated. So I had a great time at that school. I really liked it. I really recommend it for writing. Another person that I know named Mercy asked me, what's your pitch to clients like? What makes someone want to purchase your content? So screenwriting is a little different. The way that works, it's not the same as just like selling your services, I guess, to people, even though we pitch it that way. Basically, the way I was taught to sell something to someone is, first of all, make sure you have other projects in your back pocket if they don't like the one that you've brought to them in that meeting. Be yourself, because they're not just hiring you as a writer, they're hiring you as a person, especially if you're gonna be in a TV writer's room. That means you have to be able to collaborate with a whole team of people. It's not just you, and it's not just you and one person. It's gonna be you and a group of people, and maybe your ideas don't get picked all the time. You're gonna have to be okay with that. You're gonna have to be able to collaborate, like I said. So basically, when pitching, pitch who you are, what you bring to the table, and also if you're pitching a specific script, like to sell it to someone, make sure that they know why you're the person to write the script and not someone else. You know, maybe you have experience in the topic that you're talking about. Maybe you worked a job that was really interesting and your script incorporates all of your experience in there. That's kind of the way I was taught, and I feel like it's effective. The last question I want to address, even though I pretty much did throughout this whole video, question from Frank on Instagram. He asked me an episode that I would write for Schitt's Creek. I haven't watched enough of that show to really have an idea of what I would write, but this question is a really good question. I wish I could answer it better for you. I haven't watched the show enough, but I know I could come up with a concept for an episode, definitely. Don't know if I'd write it because I'm not really great at comedy. But maybe it'll be better. I don't know. Maybe I'll work on that. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you everyone who gave me questions. I really appreciate it. This is a topic that I could talk about like all day long. If you guys want to see me make another one of these writing Q&A videos, I'd love to do that. Just comment your questions below. I always read my comments, so I will definitely see your question, and then if I have enough for another video, I'll make another one. But for now, I'm gonna go because I have a whole script I need to work on. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your lovely questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye!